Today's topic, using Facebook and Instagram ads to attract motivated sellers. I will be sharing what I am doing right now. And also, I think most importantly for everyone, the big picture principles that you all can find ways to apply them to your market, the avatar or the niche that you are wanting to build a pipeline of clients around, and the resources I'm using, all of try to be an open book as much as possible. So we're going to log into my ads account. I will share my CRM as well, which is now, as of yesterday morning, transitioned from KB Core to Bold Trail. I don't know about you, but if you're using it, I think it actually is faster. The UI is a little bit better, and it seems to be working great. For those wondering, I have red eyes because my wife and I got in the middle of the night. We took our oldest to orientation at the University of Louisville, and we actually left Saturday night to get there in time for game 3 of their Super Regional to see them dogpile and go to the College World Series, which was really cool. He had orientation Monday and Tuesday. We, as the parents, had orientation Monday, and we got to chill on Tuesday. But it's an 8.5-hour drive, and we got home around, 1:30. And so that's why my eyes, I think, are a little bit red and bloodshot. And I've been scrambling a little bit. For those of you that were on early, you saw me jumping in and out and in and out. But all of that considered, I think I've got some good stuff to share. And as always, if you have questions, comments, if something was unclear, you want me to double back on something, any of that is all well and good. If you're watching on the live stream in our Facebook group, do me a huge favor, hit the like button, drop a comment. And for those of you that don't know, if you prefer to join us in the Zoom room, you can come into the Zoom room anytime you like. I always put the Zoom room link with the live stream, and I think it's still set up to be growwithjosh.com/mm. growwithjosh.com/mm. You're always welcome to join us in here. Now, here's the backstory or the context before we get to the content and why I think this is relevant and important. I teased this last week, but I've been buying motivated seller leads from a few different PPL, pay per lead providers, for the last couple weeks, and actually some of them for almost 2 months, I believe. And if you're interested, I have a doc that I'm documenting who I'm using, who you can chat with, etc. And I've got some affiliate deals with some of them, just very transparently. And I'm happy to share that with anyone who's interested. I would just ask that you shoot me an email or text me or DM me. And I do think if you're going to explore those, we should have a chat so you have a proper understanding and expectation, and so that you can be successful with them, okay? So I'm happy to share that with anyone, but I'm not just going to publicly share that here. If you want that, just shoot me a DM or call, text, email me, whatever. Why this relates to the topic today is these folks are, number one, providing more context and details, and because they're more committed, or like they're providing more information up front, they're easier to get a hold of. Like, most of them want to actually have a conversation. And so what I'm finding for me is, whereas let's face it, for typical cold lead generation, Facebook, Instagram, ads, things of that nature, what would you say, little audience participation, what would you say is the typical conversion rate of those kinds of leads? And you can open your line, or if you just want to drop it in the chat, what would you say is the typical or the industry average for cold leads? Goose eggs, Celeste, come on.
Percent.
What's that?
I think it's 1.5%, if I remember right.
Shay says 1.5. The consensus from the group is around 1%. And I would say that, though that can be discouraging, I'm drinking coffee. Like, usually I've already had my last cup of coffee today, but I need a little extra boost because I'm running on less than 5 hours of sleep. So around 1%, I would say 1-2%. Now, I've got campaigns and lead generation pipelines that have far surpassed that. But generally speaking, 1% is the average. And quite honestly, if you're doing it right and you're consistent, that can still be a very positive ROI. The problem is it can be very frustrating if you feel like you're chasing 99 to find the 100, or you're chasing 100 to find the 1. And so what I'm finding with these motivated seller leads is already I'm converting more than 1 in 10. I have 2 that are already in escrow, and I have 2 that are, 1 that's listed and 1 that we're going live, I think next week, and 1 we're going live coming soon, the last week of June. That's really encouraging. Not only that, but I have a bunch in the pipeline. In other words, I've had a conversation. They've told me their whole life story, and like they legitimately want to sell. For example, one of them is going to be 3 transactions. A widowed husband and a widowed wife. They're now living in his house together. She's got a house to sell. He wants to sell his house because he wants to downsize, and they want to downsize. So that was one motivated seller lead that is going to be at least 3 transaction sides when the timing is right. Now, they're still getting their ducks in order, et cetera, but like pretty encouraging, okay? What does all of that have to do with this? The change that I have made and will continue to make and make tweaks, optimize to my Facebook and Instagram ads is putting more, I'm reducing friction up front, but increasing friction on the back end. In other words, I'm making it easy to get the top of funnel offering that I'm making, and I'm using systems and better strategy to get the more motivated folks to indicate right up front and during the initial follow-up process who I should then invest more time and energy, and then relying 100% on automation and technology for the rest of it. In other words, I am not going to personally invest time unless they've jumped through several hoops, not just opted in and said, hey, I'd like your list of whatever, or I'd like your PDF, okay? So it's a simple idea. But I think most of the best and most powerful ideas are simple, and it's about the execution of the idea and then not getting distracted. I'm talking to myself. Don't get distracted, okay? I'm going to share several examples. I'm going to share what I am going to test next. And for me, all of what I'm going to share, the end that I have in mind, in other words, what I'm trying to get at the bottom of the funnel or the bottom of the end of the pipeline, is people who have requested or expressed interest in getting cash offer or cash offer options for their property, because that's real motivation. And let's face it, the market's getting tougher. For some of you, the market has already been tougher for several months, and it's getting tougher for many of you. And it's even more important now than ever to be investing your time, energy, and efforts with people that have real motivation and really like legitimately need your help for one reason or another, okay? For example, one of the leads that came through what I'm going to share here yesterday, I think, I already had a conversation. He is wheelchair bound. He owns a 2-story home on, I think it's almost 10 acres. It's just way too much for him. He wants to downsize. That is someone that needs my help, not somebody that maybe wants my help, right? He needs help. He can't take care of the property anymore. It's just too much. And so that's real motivation. That's what I'm talking about. So let's take that from the clouds and let's move into the dirt a little bit of exactly what this looks like for me right now. I just got to make sure I got to find the right window. Oh, am I sharing my screen already? Hold on. Let me find the right window first. There it is. Okay. Now let's share my screen. So this is my ad account, and I'm trying a couple of different things when it comes to the initial lead magnet. And I'll give you the easy button for this. And I'll also let you know, and I'm going to say this several times, I normally don't make offers or push on this. But if you want help with this, if this is resonating with you, there are ways that we can help you with this. And I would just encourage you to schedule a time with me. And if you want motivated sellers, I'm going to beat the drum that you should have iList. And you can get a 30-day trial with my iList enterprise account at growwithjosh.com/iList. I'll get that link in there. or just schedule a time for us to chat and we can do that right then. We can get you onboarded. We can do your CRM integration, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So right now I have a couple of different campaigns running, and I'm going to share what I've got running, and then I'm going to share what I'm testing next. But more importantly, I want to show you the flow of how I'm getting the more motivated folks. And I'm also going to say this is ugly, okay? So this is version 1.0 of what this looks like for me. And this is how I tend to build things is I start with the minimal viable product, MVP, I think is what that is. I just want the pieces in place that my idea can be tested on some level to see if it has any merit versus trying to make this perfect version of something that nobody wants, right? You might think it's awesome, but if people don't want it, then it doesn't matter how pretty it looks, okay? So I'm going to say very transparently that this is not like the final version of what I envision this to look like for the client coming through. It was just how I could hack it together. And quite honestly, some of this I was hacking together on our drive because my wife gets car sick when she's not driving. So she, on trips like this, she does the majority of the driving. I'm sitting next to her on my laptop with my phone tethered and building some of this out, okay? So one campaign that I have running is what I'm just calling a home price report. And this is for an entire county. However, this is a very rural county. It is directly to my north, and the total reach on Facebook is 20 to 25,000, like when you at the ad set level. Okay. So I say that to say that if you're in a county that's like the population of 4 million, you might, and you wanted to test this idea, you probably want to pick a city, right? Or a more narrowed down area. And that's part of what we can strategize if you want some help implementing this. Anyway, I am targeting the whole county with this ad. So actually, I'm going to open this up so you guys can see even like what this looks like, what the settings are for those of you that are DIYers and you want to do this yourself. So this is the campaign level and the naming structure, whatever naming structure makes sense for you. That's what I have. I'm choosing special ad category housing because that's appropriate here. And I really don't do anything else with this. At the ad set level, I am choosing instant forms. It's grayed out because you can't edit it once it's live, but I chose instant forms. I keep the naming structure throughout. And then right now I just have a $7 a day budget. Now I had several of these exact same campaigns running for a time. And because I just wanted to see, actually, one of the best practices with running campaigns like this is doing split tests. So running exactly the exact same campaign and just doing like 3 of them. Because the way Facebook works and their algorithm works, they will put the ads in front of different audience buckets, and some will work better than others. So, for example, this one was getting a cost per lead that was half of another, and one of them for a while there were no leads. People were clicking, but they weren't opting in. Why? I don't know, but it's just a best practice. If you're going to play this game and you're going to use this strategy, you gotta test a bunch of stuff. Here is where the location is where I've got selected Perry County, and the estimated audience size is 21,000 to 24,000. Point being, it's a very small audience, okay? It's a very small audience is just what I'm illustrating there. I don't really select anything else here, okay? This is the Facebook page that it's tethered to. If you've never run lead ads to that before, you just have to agree to their terms of use, things of that nature. And then here is the actual ad. Okay, here's the actual ad. And I'm going to switch to ad preview here and we'll open it up. I am using something that has worked well literally for years. Some of you on here maybe are familiar with Street Text. And I'm going to give credit where credit is due. The first time I ever saw this idea of using a map image in an ad on Facebook was my guy, Ryan Hartman, back in like 2010. And I know with some certainty that Street Text kind of ripped off that idea from them for their home valuation page and their best practices on landing pages. But you know what? Like there's no, I don't know, that you can't claim an idea as your own. So whatever. But just giving a shout out to my guy, Ryan. Here's what the ad looks like. This screenshot, I believe I did a search on realtor.com for the county and then just took a screenshot of that. It was either Realtor.com or Zillow. I think Zillow looks a little different. I'm pretty sure this was Realtor.com. All I wanted was something that showed the outline of the county with a bunch of dots. And you could make your own. Like you could build something in Canva and you could make the little icons be homes or something like that. But again, minimal viable product. Like how quickly can I get the idea out the door to see if it has merit? So this is the copy above the image. Perry County homeowners, easy for me to say. Perry County homeowners, exclamation point. We've just released the Perry County home price report for June 25. Tap learn more below for instant access. It's updated 24/7, blah, blah, blah. There's some whatever. You can R&D this, and I can even give you this link if you want. Below, it just says tap learn more for instant access, okay? When someone clicks on this, it's a lead form. Uh-oh, I've already submitted the information. I'll have to think through how we can demonstrate that. But for those of you who are not familiar, it's them opting in on Facebook without leaving Facebook, okay? So literally all it does is, I think I can preview it here. All it populates is, it doesn't want to cooperate, is a little pop-up that says click next to confirm your information, and it pre-populates their name, email, and phone number. And I'm split testing email and phone number, meaning including phone and not including phone. I am only now calling folks that have jumped through several hoops, but also, so I'm trying to decide, do I want more leads with just email, or do I want the opportunity to text them with the Smart Campaign automated? I haven't made a decision yet, but that's just one of the things that I'm split testing. When they submit their information, this is what they see. Thanks, you're all set. You can download your copy of the home price report below. We've also emailed you a copy as well. If you have any problems downloading the report, or you'd like a more custom report specific to your Perry County property, you can email me at or text me at thanks, Josh. Now, here's where it gets a little ugly. This is a page I built very quick and dirty, and ultimately, I need to make a nicer, cleaner version of this, but it works for now. This is a page that I built in the Pro Edge CRM. It's a Go High Level white label version, our guy Smarty. And up here, we've got the headline, it worked. We've emailed you the Perry County home price report for June 2025, and I'm merging that in. So when it's July 1st, it'll say July 2025. You can also tap here to download now. This is a video that I recorded, I think Friday or Thursday, just sitting on my front porch, telling them that I've emailed them the report. They can download it above, and then making the next call to action, which is for a no cost or obligation. And I don't remember exactly how I position it, but basically to opt in below if they're curious about cash offer options for their property in Perry County. And this is an iList landing page that I've iframed in. Again, all of this is Frankenstein together. Please understand that this is version like 1. This is the beta version of this concept. And a month from now, this will all look a little bit better, cleaner, nicer, and more optimized. But again, just a starting point. So at this point, they're now in my KV Core CRM, and they're getting a Smart Campaign. And they have the opportunity to take the next step, which is to enter their address for more information. Not only that, a little pop-up here. I did optimize with this. If they try to leave without entering their address, a little pop-up, which helps with one last, hey, before you go, check this out. Not only that, but I've also set it up using another one of my favorite tools from my guy, Ryan, and Justin Tracy, who we had on, I can't even remember if that was last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Last week was for sale by owners, which, by the way, if you missed that one, go check it out. It's pretty good. So I'm using Zapier to append, I'll just show you. So I'm using Zapier to build a mailing list of people requesting the Perry County home price report. And you can see here that I've got 25 people who have opted in for the home price report that we've appended their mailing address. Not only that, but what happens is the next day out the door goes a letter. Where is that? Campaigns. A letter with an actual printout of the home price report for June. So I'm sending them something physical in the mail that is what they requested. I'm making sure that they got the thing they requested. Where did it go? Oh, it's right here. So they will get oh no, hold on. They will get, oh, I have to edit it. This is what they get. It's not going to cooperate. They get a windowless letter with the actual report. Let me see if I'm doing something wrong here. I have to go to the template. I'm sorry. Message temp. So they get, there it is, CMA letter plus home price report. So they get a windowless letter that has a what appears to be a handwritten letter from me and a 9-page home price report. Now, this is just all the sold properties in Perry County for May. This is the June report, reporting on May. So they're getting that physical item, and it's bulky mail, right? It feels like something significant. They get that in the mail from me. They can also send the QR code on this piece of mail to send them to my, their iList dashboard, which I've gotten 5 or 6 QR code scans since 5 o'clock last night on some of the direct mail we're sending. Okay, so example 1 is as follows, once again, to summarize. It's the blank area home price report. They opt in with a lead form. The thank you page is the next level of filtering, okay? And it gives them the opportunity to take like a next step and demonstrate to us that they're a little bit more motivated and farther down the process of considering selling. Then we use the smart campaign and the direct mail to increase the inbound requests and to position ourselves as the solution of choice when the time is right. When the time is right. Now, I'm going to show one other example and what I'm going to test next. But before I do that, do we have any questions on this thus far? What report are you sending them? Great question, Aaron. So I'm just literally doing a PDF printout from my MLS. I'm literally going into the MLS. I think it's, for me and Bright, it's the thumbnail report. So I choose all of the sold properties for Perry County for, in this case, May 2025. I do the thumbnail report, which is what the 9-page report is. I'm sure there are other ways that you could do it. I don't know. You might be able to do it with RPR. Like, honestly, that piece of it is not that important, other than that it's real data, it's relevant information, and that you're giving them something physical. You could split hairs on exactly what that looks like. Ironically, I was on a Zoom meeting yesterday about this. Maryland, interesting. Okay. So glad this is recorded. I'll watch this again. Absolutely. How much is thanks for the mailing? Do you have an affiliate link? I do, Nisi. growwithjosh.com/thanks. growwithjosh.com/thanks. I'm going to put some of the resources that I've mentioned already in the chat right now. And the pricing varies depending on what you're sending, how you're sending, etc. Because I'm sending a letter and I'm appending 9 pages. It's actually it's more expensive than sending a postcard, right? So if I send a big postcard, it's 91 cents or something like that. If I send a smaller postcard, I believe it's 73 cents. For me to send this packet, it's more, I can tell you in a minute, but it's somewhere like in between $2 and $3. Okay. But it stands out, right? It stands out. Also, I'm getting lower cost lead up front. So the way I'm looking at it is that's part of my lead cost. And my cost per lead is still very reasonable, all things considered. So I'm going to drop those 2 there. Okay, here's what I'm going to transition to the next test that I'm running and what I'm going to test next.
Josh, they actually print out the report that you send to thanks or upload or something? I might have missed that.
So you upload the PDF of it, and that is delivered to the recipient. So what shows up in their mailbox is a 10-page letter that has this as the cover letter, and then these 9 pages as well.
I see. Cool.
And I had an example of what that looks like. I should have pulled that out ahead of time. I don't think I have one handy now. What I would recommend you do is send one to yourself if you're going to try this idea. So you can see and experience what that looks like, but it is significant, right? It's a little bit of lumpy mail. And I think, let's just face it, you get credit card offers and whatever, and even stuff that you're like not sure if it's junk mail or not. If it's thin, you're probably like, this is junk mail. If it's thick, you're like, what is this? You get curious, which means they're more likely to open it, which means they're more likely to then look at what's inside and be curious. Do you upload the PDF monthly? Yes, that's my plan, Nisi. is, and I won't do this July 1st because let's face it, like all of the transactions won't be completed or updated in Bright at that point. I'll probably do it like July 4th or 5th. And again, this is just version 1.0. So I don't know what this will look like 5 or 6 months from now, but what it will look like for July is I will download a new PDF. I'll upload that new PDF as the message template in thanks. And I'll also make sure that on the thank you page, which by the way, let me finish that thought. Sorry. On the thank you page, it'll be all of the sales from June. So it's the July 2025. It'll be all the sales from June. And then what I'm doing with the Smart campaign is I'm sending people to that same thank you page, right? Because that's where they can download it. And I want them to see the sales message, quote unquote, for me to get more people to request the cash offer. So then all I have to do for now is I have to update it in 2 places. I have to update the template in thanks, and I have to update the link on the thank you page. Okay, where was I? I was going to show the next example. Is that right? So I'm a little foggy. Okay, the next example.
Second person.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Go,
Yes,
yeah.
I heard the first part, which is you're uploading the PDF to thanks.io.
Yep.
So what was the second part you said you had?
So the second part is I'm updating. I go into this thank you page, like the builder for the thank you page, and I upload the tap here to download. Because what happens when they do that, they're getting the May 2025. And so once I have June's, all I'm doing is swapping out the link. And if I'm glad you brought this up because it illustrates how I'm doing it. All I'm doing when they hit tap here is I've uploaded this PDF as a Google Drive link, and I made it open to anyone that has the link. But it's also why I try to it's why on this thank you page, and I probably should add like some asterisks here, and I also say it in the email follow-up. If you have any problems downloading the report, please let me know. I can personally send it to you, and we can even mail you a physical copy. What they don't know yet is that we are mailing them the physical copy regardless. I'll also say one more thing before the next ad campaign is that there's not 100% match rate, meaning this mailing list that I'm building, it has 25, but I've gotten more than 25 people who have opted in. I don't know exactly how many, but it's more than that, which means because I'm not asking for their mailing address up front, they either don't own a home, which is why they couldn't be matched, or for some reason, Thanks wasn't able to match it up. And just because I'm curious, and you may be curious as well, I'll look how many opt-ins we've had and what that match rate is. So it looks like 35. That's not bad. I don't know what that percentage is, but it's 5 out of 7. So for every 7 that opt in, 5 of them were able to identify as a homeowner and send them the physical report. That's not too shabby. Not too shabby. And also what's interesting is I'm having conversations with some of them unrelated to their home. Diane Zimmers, she messaged on Facebook. Oh, geez, I'm glad I mentioned this as well. She mentioned on Facebook that she was looking for a home for her granddaughter, and she told me exactly what they're looking for, like what price range and what part of Perry County. But it started with her opting in for the Perry County home price report. And because that just popped into my brain, there is a new function with lead ads where when you're creating the lead form, you check a box and it will also send a Facebook message to the person opting in that looks like this. Let me pull it up. And what I'm excited about that is it's just another opportunity to create a conversation, because the more conversations we have, the more appointments we can generate, right? And the more people we're meeting with, the more transactions we're going to do. So when the lead or the person gets to this page, right, it means they've submitted their information. Not only do they see this thank you page and they can click over, but they also get an email through Facebook. I need to get to the right Facebook page here. They get an email through Facebook that is the same sort of confirmation message as well. So it's just another way for you to, A, make good on the thing you're promising, and B, drive more people to the thank you page. So this is Diane. And she actually opted in for a couple of different things, I think. But she said, my granddaughter is looking for a first home under 200,000. Is there anything available in Marysville area or nearby? And I confirmed her email address, etc. I got her set up with direct MLS access in Bright. And then later today, I'll follow up with her. I did follow up with her once I had it set up, but I'll make sure that she got that list. And I think there were 4 available that fit that criteria for her. Now, some of you, your eyes may be glazing over, you're getting a headache, this is confusing, etc. I'm going to take this opportunity again to say we can help, and there's several different ways that we can help with that. And if you're interested, I'm going to say up front, if you're interested and you have at least $10 to $20 per day to invest, I would love to chat. If you're looking for free, I've got lots of content on free strategies for getting conversations and appointments, etc. And I'm happy to point you to that, and I'm happy to help any way I can. But if you want to strategize this specifically, please only schedule a time with me if you're ready, willing, and able to invest at least $10, $15, $20 per day to drive people through the pipeline that I'll help strategize and build with you. All right. The second example of what I'm testing, I'm using a report with listings to leads. Now, listings to leads is one of my favorite resources and there are like a couple of very specific ways that I like to use listings to leads. One, unrelated to this, is their listing specific marketing is phenomenal. For example, this listing that I have, that listing went live Friday morning. We were coming soon Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't remember. We were live Friday morning, and no dollars, $0 American dollars, marketing this listing, and got 41 leads. And as of this morning, we're under contract. We had multiple offers, etc. That was the only way I was able to generate those 41 free leads is with listings to leads and some strategy using Facebook Marketplace, etc. If you want that strategy, I do have a document that outlines that. Please DM or drop a comment or reach out, whatever way. Shoot me an email, etc. That is not what I'm using in this example. I'm using one of their PDF guides. And you can get a free trial with listings to leads, which Scott at Listings to Leads has told me. I don't know if you get a 21-day. What is it here? I'm gonna pull it up. It's growwithjosh.com/L, the number 2, L. I think you get a 21-day trial, and their normal trial, their normal trial is 14. So you get a couple extra days, or you get an extra week. It all helps. So I'll drop the link to that in the chat as well. I am using one of their PDFs as my lead magnet or my hook. And the one I'm using right now, and then I'll tell you the 2 that I'm testing next, is the one I'm using right now is somewhere in here, somewhere. Here it is. Should you sell your home fast for cash? Should you sell your home fast for cash? So I'm using that PDF, and the rest of the funnel, like all of the big picture of this, is exactly the same. What do I mean? I'm running a lead ad, and just transparently, the cost per lead on this is way higher right now. So it's one of the reasons why I'm testing. I'm going to test 2 other ideas and see if I can beat that. But I'd also say that a higher cost per lead for what they're opting in for makes sense, right? Because I'm showing this to everyone in Perry County. At any given point, there's only a small population or a segment of that population that might be thinking about cash offers on their property, right? But I want to connect with those people. They're good leads. They're people that are likely to engage with you. So here's what the ad looks like. Notice a similar image. Thinking about selling your Perry County home? ? Wondering if a cash. Oh my goodness. So this is my second grammatical error that I'm revealing. Oh, I make myself laugh. I've identified 2 things that I need to fix. So that's another reason why I do these sessions is I find what's messed up in my marketing. Think about selling your Perry County home, wondering if a cash maybe offer is the way to go. Tap learn more below oh my goodness. I clearly was sleep deprived when I did this. So I've got a grammatical error there too. Anyway, it's shocking that anyone opted in for this. But this is what the ad looks like. And then when someone hits learn more, again, I've already, because it's my account, it skips the process, but it's the same thing. It's just a little lead form that they submit. Congrats, you're all set. Tap the download now button below. My goodness. I missed the 2 download. You're there too. Oh my word. I hope some of you are laughing along with my incompetence. Anyway, this one, because I literally built it in the car while we were driving to Louisville, I don't have a video or anything. It's just text. And then I framed in this landing page with iList. It worked. We've emailed you the PDF guide you requested. Show your Perry County home fast for cash. You can also tap here to download. And again, it just takes them to download. In this case, I think the download page, this was a link from listings to leads, which has it download it right to their account. I don't know if I like that because some people might be confused. They might not realize that it downloaded to their account. Like what we take for granted as people understanding inherently, other people may or may not. So I may change how that functions. Thinking about selling, ? Get a free, no obligation cash offer instantly. Just enter your address below and tap get offers. So again, same flow, same process. And then in this case, now I haven't had as many people opt in for this. So you'll see, I think it's only 2 so far that I have set up here to get basically the same letter, the CMA letter, but what they're getting with it in this scenario is an actual copy of the listings to lead branded should you sell report right here. So what I'm going to test, number one, now that I realize the grammatical errors, is fixing those grammatical errors and relaunching that. And then what I am further going to test with this same flow is the 12 mistakes to avoid when you're selling your home. I don't like the way that's worded. It should be 12 mistakes to avoid when selling your home. You don't need your and your there. Regardless, I'll let Scott know. Maybe he'll change it. I'm going to test that one, which I have used in the past, and I know that it works as a lead magnet because I've gotten people, a significant number of people, I don't remember right now, but over the years, I've gotten people to opt in for that report. I will also, this wasn't on my low-hanging fruit, but I will also likely test this one, 5 dangers of overpricing your home for sale, which is a good one. And then for those of you who are interested in serving the baby boomer downsizer population, there is, where is it? Doggone it. There's one in here about downsizing. I know there is. It's a guide to downsizing, something like that. Where is it? Let's see here. I know it's in here. I'm just having a hard time finding it. And honestly, even if I can't find it, I'm going to, I'll weave in something that I mentioned last week. I'll use Manus AI to just build one for me because he knows about my business and I can tell it with a prompt. Here's what I'll do. I'll actually use that prompt. I'll create a prompt to make that guide and share it with those who might be interested. It's Manus, M-A-N-U-S. It's Manus dot, let me just make sure here I've got the right. And if you think you need to be invited, it's manus.im, M-A-N-U-S. If you need an invite code for it, just let me know and I can get you an invite code. I think it's invite only. And if you use mine, I get like more credits or something like that. I don't get paid or anything, but please email me. There's no way I'll be able to keep track of it in the chat here. Shoot me an email at josh@growwithjosh.com. And this afternoon, I'll make sure you get an invite code. I am loving that tool. It is incredible. I showed it last week very briefly, and it helped me build. Oh, here's what I did with that. So I used it to create, what it spit out was like a term paper as to why agents should be working for sale by owners right now, like what the market conditions, et cetera. So then I said, hey, can we just turn this into nobody wants to read 80 pages on this. Can we turn it into an executive summary? And so it turned it into a 3 or 4 page. And then I used it to make a slideshow presentation. So if I wanted to record content for real estate agents as to why, it spit out this beautiful, since I'm mentioning it, I'll just pull it up here. Why not? I'll just show you the slideshow it built for me, literally by just asking it to. Yeah, convert executive summary into slideshow, and it spit this out. This is really, where'd it go? Oh, here we go. It's really good stuff, And I don't know where the rest of the slides are. Oh, maybe these are the slides. Yeah, these are the slides, sorry. They're like interactive. So I could literally I could make a Loom video of this. I probably will actually do this. Coming soon to the Josh Shanley Coaching YouTube page is me recording myself with a Loom video going through this slide deck that Manus created for me on why now is a good time for agents to be prospecting for sale by owners. Okay.
I just want to say your script's working. I just got a text
I'm still at 100%. I've been so busy between orientation and appointments, etc., that I think I've only used it on 7. But the ones that I used it on last week, so live on the session, I sent it out to 3. Okay. It's still at 100% in the sense that I've had a conversation with everyone I've sent it to. One of them was literally like, A, they're so unrealistic on price, and B, if you bring a buyer, they're going to have to pay your commission, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, whatever, it's fine. I had a conversation. I planted a seed, etc., and I'll follow up with him this week to see if it's still on the market, and it will be, because there's no way he's selling it at that price and being completely against anyone. Anyway, so had a conversation with that guy, had another conversation that I was supposed to go and check out Friday, but it's 45 minutes away, which I'm not opposed to, and my day just got busy. So I'm checking back in with him probably this afternoon to see if it's still available, etc. And then the other one, I can't remember, but the response rate, I've had 100% response rate. And for ones that I deem worthy of going and checking out, like there might be a chance of earning this business in some way, shape, or form, I've had zero problem getting an appointment with. Ron says he was 100% last week as well. Manus.im, Celeste, they have 3 levels, $19.99, $39.99, and I don't know, $200 a month or something like that. I'm on the second tier, only because the guy that referred it to me, my guy Rob, that's what he's using. And so I was like, all right, whatever. Only sign up for this kind of stuff if you're going to use it. I know that's obvious, but I'm also reminding myself, because every couple of weeks I go and check, what am I paying for that I signed up for? Thought I would love it and haven't logged in since. But so here's what I'm going to share on one of the upcoming sessions. Actually, a couple of things. Number one, this was the number 1 voted when I threw out topics last week. This got the most votes. So that's why I wanted to share, even though for me, it's still very much a work in progress. Okay. Number 2, I think was expireds as far as votes. It was either expireds or there was some other topic that I'm forgetting now. Oh, the motivated seller pay-per lead sources. What I'm going to share on an upcoming session is how I'm using Manus to identify the most likely sellers within a target audience. For example, I fed it the data of the motivated seller leads that I've gotten over the last, call it month and a half, 2 months. It was like 35 or 32. I gave it the data in a CSV file. And I said, I want you to study this and identify commonalities of why they are likely motivated and looking to sell. And I have all the prompts that I'll share when we do that session. So it did all this research. And by the way, it's for those of you that try it, when you have it do work, like you should go do work while it's working, because it's depending on what you're prompting it for, it can take a few minutes to 15 minutes, an hour, depending on how much processing it's doing, but it's freaking worth it. It's incredible. So I fed it this data and I said, look for these commonalities. And then I chose my zip code in PropStream, and I built a list of, it was all single family homes with individual owners, owned for at least 5 years. They're not currently listed, and there might have been 1 or 2 other factors. It was a list of about 2,500 homeowners. I export that data. I didn't skip trace it. So I did that all with just my regular PropStream account. Okay. You can get a free trial and get marketing credits at growwithjosh.com/PS. Growwithjosh.com/PS. If you want the free marketing credits, you got to sign up for the trial and then email me, and I'll have the team hook you up. Anyway, I built that list. I exported it. I fed it into Manus. I said, using the indicators or whatever, I can't remember the exact, but using the information that I fed you before, can you please identify the most likely sellers in this list of homeowners in 17025? It spit out for me it was like 73 most likely sellers that were owner occupied, and the 46 that were most likely sellers that were non-owner occupied or absentee. And what I'm doing with that is I'm sending direct mail campaign, and then I'm going to append data to just those, right? Because I save costs I could have skip traced the whole list of 2,500, but it gets pretty expensive, right? So I'm identifying the better list and then appending data, and I'll run my open to offers playbook on email and text message for what I can match up for that. And here's why are you using Manus rather than ChatGPT? So Jan, here's what I'm using. I'm actually using ChatGPT to give me prompts to feed Manus. Manus for example, Manus for what I just described is way better. It just is, right? ChatGPT is like good for like short little simple things, but for something like I just described, or for building out a presentation for example, what I'm doing with Manus now is I take the transcripts of these and I have it build out an executive summary, etc. The output with Manus is just way better than the output with ChatGPT for that type of use case. I still use ChatGPT all the time. I have the $20 version of that, and I still use it all the time. This is has nothing to do with any of this, but I've used it recently both for my son and my daughter who had nagging injuries. It's wild. It's a freaking doctor. I tell it exactly what's going on, what's causing the injuries, what the pain are, and it will give me gives detailed, do this and this. These are the time frames of it. If they've got pain here, do this and blah, blah, blah. It's wild. Again, not in any way, shape, or form related to real estate, but I don't know. Maybe it is, right? Here are the symptoms with my real estate business. Can you help me? Can you help me with these symptoms? There's something there. Anyway, so on upcoming sessions, a couple of different things. We're going to talk expireds and what I'm doing to approach expireds. I'll try and coordinate with Shay because I know Shay shared some cool stuff he's doing with expireds. He mentioned last week on the session. I'm having a guest on by the name of Larry White to talk REO for those of you that might be interested in that. And we're going to do a deep dive on what I had shared here, which is using AI to identify likely sellers so that you can be more strategic in your marketing. And I totally get it. Like Thanks.io, they have a likely seller filter. You can pull a list there, and different platforms have likely seller data. But what I think is unique to the way it's happening with Manus, it's using local data to identify local likely sellers. So because it's more locally relevant, it stands to reason that what it's going to give you as output is more accurate as potential sellers. So that's what we've got upcoming. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? Oh, how much money per week are you putting on these ads? Nisi asked. I would recommend a minimum of $10 a day. If you're gonna do paid advertising on Facebook and Instagram, I would do a minimum of that. The caveat is the first couple days, I think it makes sense to test multiple campaigns. And so that budget ideally might be triple for a couple of days just to get a winning campaign so that you then can turn off the losing campaigns and have a better performing, quote unquote, winning campaign. You can do it with whatever you want, whatever amount, but that would be my recommendation is at least $10 a day. So that's $300 a month. If your cost per lead is $3 to $5 per lead, you can do the math there. You're going to get 70 to 100 leads a month for that. Who are the sources for the motivated seller leads? Tom, I'll send you the doc. I'll DM you the doc after. And Fernando, let's schedule a time to chat. Fernando asked for the easy button. So here's what I'll do as a way of wrapping up. So for those of you who are interested and want help, I will be happy to strategize with you and build the plan specific for you or prescribe a plan specific for you. I'll point you to the resources that I would recommend, and then I'll give you options for how we can do it for you. Just know that there will be a cost in some way, shape, or form. Number one, there's going to be a cost for the ads. And number two, regardless of if we're helping or you're doing it yourself, you're going to need iList, you're going to need listings to leads, and I'm going to highly recommend that if you're going to do this, that you use Thanks and send direct mail also. You would be much, much better served if you generate fewer leads and go deeper with those fewer leads than generating lots and lots of leads and just surface area trying to pick off the 1 in 100 or 200 who just is desperate. So we can go through all of that together, but that would be at the minimum the tech stack that you would need with this. And then obviously a CRM of some kind. Now, it could be a Bold Trail, it could be Lofty, it could be Follow Up Boss, it could be whatever. There's lots of options there. So those of you that are asking to schedule, here. So for those of you that want or interested in scheduling, I'll give you a link to the calendar. It's growwithjosh.com/20. or it's growwithjosh.com/20. I'll put the direct link because that's just a redirect link. I'll put the direct link in the chat. Oh, I thought I was sharing my screen. So just the typical scheduling tool here. I need to update this. I'm going to be driving on Friday. Don't schedule Friday right now if you see that, because I'm going to be driving and I'll have to reschedule. I just haven't blocked it out yet. I'll get that blocked out ASAP, or just reach out to me. Just call or text or shoot me a DM, etc. I'm happy to schedule a time and strategize. All right. Thanks, everybody. Next week is either going to be expireds or REOs. I can't remember when I have Larry scheduled. Let me see if I can confirm that so I can do a proper T. It is REO. So we're gonna be talking about seizing REO listings with my guy Larry White next week, and then on the following weeks we'll dig into expireds and the likely seller process that I am testing as well. Thanks so much, everybody. Great crowd today. I appreciate all the questions, comments, and feedback, and I look forward to connecting with hopefully a whole bunch of you.